Heck, it's been a while. Not too long. But we're back with another series of Let's Play. And I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and this is a game that needs a little introduction. Though the series has a very solid fan base. This is one of the games in the series that isn't named with the rest of the series, but it is actually part of the main series. I have a soft spot for this particular franchise, and I wanted to start with the origin story, the first game in the series, the PlayStation Classic that starts a series known as the Shadow Hearts series. That's right. We're actually dipping into the first Shadow Hearts game, but it's not called Shadow Hearts. They haven't made that name up until PlayStation 2. A game that's kind of a cross between RPG and horror. Kinda. And this is the first of this particular game, so taking place in the real world at a very specific period of time. Aberystwyth, Wales, 31st October 1898. Monday. So, yes, we are playing Koudelka, which is known as the first Shadow Hearts game. Traditionally, it is, we're gonna make one little change here. Yeah, I'd rather it be that. Boop. Alright. And so this is the first Shadow Hearts game. Now, this being the first Shadow Hearts game in and of itself, it's not a very long game compared to others, other than the grinding, which is very small in this game, but you still kind of have to do it. But this game was, it's very new. I think this is one of the developers' first attempts at creating an RPG game, and most people are familiar with the later installments. But I figure, you guys know me, I'm a glutton for doing things in some kind of presentable order when the series are canon. So I thought, let's start with Koudelka. So anyway, I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and let's play Koudelka for the PlayStation 1. New game. New game. Housekeeping. Would you like new pillow? They not answer. We no give pillow. Let's go. And I want to say these games started coming out like in lieu of Resident Evil and stuff. People trying to make kind of one location horror games due to the big success of some stuff like Resident Evil. Oh my. Her skirt is so short, it's just everything is cold. The bottom of me cheeks are feeling the draft breeze. Wah wah. Nothing like a little late 1800s B&E. Oh, we're not alone.
Too early, Angel. I'm not dead yet.
And yes, we get some of that 90s voice acting.
Not yet, but it looks like you're going to die soon.
Maybe. But you'll have to pardon me while I tend to some unfinished business first.
business. What can you possibly accomplish in your condition? You can't even hold your gun steady.
Well, no, unless I try. That thing's not gonna die unless I shoot it 2 or 3 times.
Oh my.
Damn it! Here, use this.
And so right away we open up into, you know, the charm of this game, one might argue. So as Koudelka, we have, in this game it's very much kind of like other types of games that were not as successful, like Enchanted Arms and stuff. You have a grid where you can move, so it's kind of tactical, but kind of not. But what we'll do is we'll come over here to this corner, and then we'll just start unloading on our little friend here. He gives an old yeller. And then we'll just unload on him yet again. Now, one of the things I believe in this game, it's been quite a while since I played this. You cannot move past an enemy, so you have to be very particular with your movement. Let's move there. So if I want to move per se, see how I cannot move past him? Because there's just no way to do it because he's blocking the means to do that. Ow. And he's down. Victory is ours. And we get 20 pistol rounds. Yay! Let's see how he's holding up.
Hey, what about him?
He's dead.
Really? Thank you. So I guess my time is up. Hey, Angel. I'm not gonna ask you to take me to heaven. But will you pray for me at least?
Are you out of your mind? There's no bloody way I'm going to pray for you. But I guess I owe you because you saved me too. Payback time.
This is some primo voice acting.
Keep it down. Okay, let's go. Stand up or I'll leave you here.
What happened? It doesn't hurt anymore. I'm cured.
Yeah, and so I cured you, so what?
You? You cured me. But I was almost dead. I'm confused. So you really are an angel?
Don't be foolish. Do you really think that there are angels on Earth? I'm no angel.
I'm a psycho
I'm
bitch.
just a medium with a little curing.
I'm Edward J. Plunkett. I know I look pretty shady, but you don't look too wholesome yourself.
No, I'm not like you. And this is no place for people like you. Why did you come here?
I heard a rumor.
A rumor.
I heard something in London. That the son of some rich family bought an old monastery. Spent a ton of money to convert it into a house. I heard he brought quite a lot of harlots here. Seems like he was having a great time.
So, where is this monastery?
That's what I want to know. I came all this way to put a poor man's fear of God into this rich bastard. So far, I haven't found anything. Then this monster attacked me. I almost got killed. If you'd come any later, no doubt I'd be singing hymns in his stomach right now.
Shouldn't have bought such a good horse. She's too fast.
Too bad you won't be hearing me sing those hymns. When I was a boy, I was a pretty good soprano.
If you don't stop talking, I'll leave you here. My name is Koudelka, and I'm only going to say this once, so don't forget. If you want to get out of here alive, I suggest you stick very close. Got it?
Charmed, I'm sure.
So that just happened. The chemistry, if you can even call it that. So we have two characters in our party. Koudelka, who, strangely enough, I would rather have her with the normal knife, because we don't have lots of gun, weapons and whatnot. So this game has a weird function. It's very akin to Final Fantasy II in a way when it comes to how characters level and the elements of it. And this can be a deal breaker for some people, and I totally get that. As far as it goes, there's going to be 3 playable characters for the entirety of the game, and we've got 2 of them already. And the idea of this is as we level, we get stats to place where we want per every time the character's level. And stats, like in any game, mean various things, and I'll explain that when we level up. But as you can see, magic, characters have access pretty much to all the magic in the game. However, and I strongly say however, there is a caveat to that. And the caveat is that you have to level magic up. Now, leveling magic is a long and arduous thing to do. It takes, I think, 1,000 experience to level a spell, and you only get like 8 XP-ish every time you cast a spell, sometimes a little more, depending. And so, just like in Final Fantasy II, you have to level up your magic. We will get new spells as we progress through the game, and so that's an element of that too. The other thing that is all of Final Fantasy II is weapons. That's right, you can level up your proficiency at weapons. And this is also a long and arduous thing to do. And it's really hard to place how to go about doing it. Now, what makes this even arguably worse than Final Fantasy II is that your weapons break over time. The more you use them, eventually they will break, and you have to deal with that. So, with that said, we have to make sure we have 2 modes of attacking. Also, saving is weird in this game, too. So that's something else that we'll talk about again in a little bit. So, we need to set our characters up as best as we can. What I like to do is change the formation first and foremost. We're going to pick Edward here, and we're going to move him to the front. He should always pretty much be in the front. Koudelka can chill kind of off to the side and back. Actually, let's put her there. And the reason we want to do that is because distance has an effect in this game, and things such as range and whatnot. So as you can see, whoever's selected in the front will be the healing character. And you see that's used all of Edward's magic pretty much, and that's fine. That's fine. We don't. So Edward's going to be our off. So how are we setting this up? Edward's going to be our primary physical character. I want him to be kind of adept at bare hands. He should be pretty much geared towards that, and all will be well. Koudelka should be using anything but her bare hands, but she's going to be more magic driven. Just looking at her base stats, yes, she has 19 strength, so it's better than Edward's at first, but her intelligence, mind, and piety are much higher, making her the better candidate long term for the physical stuff. And actually, that strength is because she has a pistol. If we go to barehanded, She's actually way worse, as you can see, than Edward. So hence why, for now, I give her the knife. We don't really need the gun, even though we have some rounds, because we got a nice little rare drop there. Nobody's actually got the gun equipped, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Accessories and armor are just things we'll add to our characters as we progress through the game. So that's a hopefully a general gist of some of the mechanics of this game. Grinding is not really or necessarily always for levels. Sometimes it's for just dealing with issues. So sometimes you'll see when you enter a new room, you'll see the name of the room and you'll see a little S there. That means you can make what's called a light save. That's what I'm going to call it. A light save meaning that it's not a technical save point. It's just a place that you can hang out and save without having any recovery options available to you. Something to think about. Yeah, I know this game has so many little quirks to it. But once you get used to those quirks, it's actually not too bad. And we'll get some more pistol rounds. Because, yeah, in battle, when you run out of ammo, you have to reload, and it takes an action. Hence, one of the reasons it's not necessarily worth, per se, using pistols. We will do something with those pistols in due course, of course. So, and then here are the random encounters here. Booga booga. And the random encounters in this game, like I said, are pretty moderate. What we're gonna do, not move, we're going to use an action. Whenever you cast spells, there is a downtime in order for the spell to activate. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. We're gonna have Edward attack with his Fists of Fury. Now he's not gonna do a lot of damage early on because we're legitimately just having him sit with his fists. But there's a reason why it's worth leveling up his fists as well as leveling up other weapons as we get them. You might be wondering, well, how does one get other weapons? Through enemy drops and random finds. And as we get those, access to those, we will let Edward use them. But it's not a necessary thing all the time, as we just take massive damage there. And he's down. And we get the rags, which we definitely would want. And nobody levels. Not good. Alright, equipping. So, strangely enough, our main dude in the front's gonna need some protection here. Raising his luck and more or less his piety, whatever. Belief piety increases magic resistance. Since we don't care about Edward doing much else with his magic, other than maybe stat bonuses and stuff, the stat magic and the healing magic are probably the only things we'd openly care about with him. It makes sense to kind of focus him in that particular direction. We have nothing to heal with except for that one potion. Oh, actually we got 3. I think we'll be okay, so hoping we'll be okay. Whoops. No, back out. There we go. And then let's just come over here real quick. And there we get a dirk. Now the elements to weapons, because we probably will get an elemental weapon here. Air dirk. So that is an air elemental weapon. Anytime we find, weapons or weapon drops, like we found the rags, they usually, not always, but they usually can have an element attached to it. And that's a good thing. We want that. Because an attachment elemental wise will be a nice way to, in a sense, protect ourselves. There is an old couple in the room, Ogden and Bessie Hartman, who say they are the caretakers of the Nementon Monastery. Okay.
How unusual that you two have decided to come to our rural district. There's really nothing interesting here.
It has gotten so cold outside. We weren't expecting any visitors. The soup is all we have. Please, have as much as you want.
Oh, yes, please.
Thanks. Smells great.
Wouldn't you like some, dear? Don't you like potato soup?
No. It's not that. I'm all right for now. Thank you for your hospitality, though.
No trouble at all. Please let me know if there's anything we can do. We are the only ones who live here, and it's so rare that we get any visitors.
So are you two really the only ones who live here?
Why do you ask?
Well, it was pretty foggy, so I couldn't tell for sure. But this building looked like an old church or something. Seems a little big just for the two of you.
You're right. In the 9th century, a saint from Ireland named Daniel Scotius built a place of worship here to appease monsters and evil spirits. That was how the Nementon Monastery started. Or so I heard.
Monsters. Is that right?
Yes. What about them?
You might not believe this, but we saw a monster on our way here.
Is that so? You saw it too?
You mean that monster's been around for a while?
Well, we've been taking care of the monastery for a number of years, but from about 6 months ago, monsters have been appearing.
We see them more and more every month.
I used to be a sailor. I'm not afraid of any monsters.
Oh dear. What if something terrible happens to you?
We almost got killed back there. Now we're out of bullets.
That's not good. The monsters might try and attack you again. I'll spare you some bullets.
Thanks, that'd be great.
Looking after others. He's so wonderful at that.
So, have you two been together long?
Yes, quite a while. Now, all he does is paint and maintain this old building. That's his daily routine. But back in the old days...
Thanks, Ogden. I owe you one.
Well, that little encounter happened. And then they'll lock that door, so... And rightfully so, with the shenanigans that we see going on in this wonderful dump. As you can see here, Edward and Koudelka are close to leveling. Well, especially Koudelka. She's got one more XP before she levels. And a mini kind of grind is necessary here. And finally, we fight an enemy that's a little less daunting. So we're out of, like, offensive things to do, so we definitely need to have Koudelka participate. Go to the hymn. So you see, just putting a weapon in a character's hand is pretty impressive. Nice. Little bastard got 2 turns. Suck on that. I just try to kill it. Nice. All right, and so we get 4 stat points to pretty much do what we want to do. And if we want a definition, strength, this attribute determines how much damage a character does in combat. No matter how high a character's strength is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything unless the character can hit his opponent. So yeah, this game is actually very careful in giving you instruction. Strength is very important, but you can't hit Jack if you don't have Dex. Vitality is going to level up your maximum HP, as it helps with, again, character longevity. Now, over here is where things are rather different. And again, but it's a similar concept. No matter how high a character's intelligence is, it doesn't mean anything unless the character can hit his or her opponent. Using intelligence, it's important to remember to keep a balance between character's intelligence and mind, as intelligence is how powerful attack and healing is, and then mind, this attribute determines a character's chance of successfully using his attack and healing magic. Straight up. Now, piety, this attribute determines a character's resistance to an opponent's magical attack. This is actually really important. It also raises the character's maximum MP. If piety is raised too much, the character will begin to resist even an ally's healing magic. Try to keep a balance between the character's intelligence and piety. Meaning we need to keep that also, because we do want to level up piety, whatever, with Edward at some point, because he's going to need that defense as well. So, all things that need to be kind of looked at. That'll even all of that out as far as I'm concerned. Give her a little vitality. Probably a good rule of thumb to make sure you give a vitality. Ooh, whiskey, nice. And then 20 pistol rounds again. We're not hurting for pistol rounds, that's for sure. And just that battle alone, if you want an example of how much it gave us 60 XP. So Edward will level after the next battle. So 60 XP, we kind of want to take characters roughly to about, I'd argue, level 3. If we can. Before we go into arguably the first boss fight. And there's reasons for that. We'll use one of the safer save points for that.
Now this would make good rations. Let's take some with us.
I can't believe it. Are you still hungry?
I didn't have anything to eat or drink for 3 days. Of course I'm hungry. Speaking of which, you wasted all of that food. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. If it weren't poisoned, then I would have had some.
Pardon?
I said, if the soup weren't poisoned, then I would have had some. Got it?
Poisoned? No way.
Just a little bit. I smelled some poisonous plant.
What's happening?
Oh, I can tell you how you're going to feel. In about half an hour, you won't be able to move your body. If you don't find an antidote, you'll definitely die.
So they really were trying to kill us. But why?
Don't know. But it seems they're quite used to doing it this way. They must be hiding something. Listen, Edward. I'm going to try to cure you now. But you have to promise that when I do, you won't get mad and rush back to that couple right away. It's safer if we pretend we're dead and continue exploring this building. I think we'll find something interesting for sure.
Come on, you know he shat himself. He wasn't throwing up, so I'm gonna go with shatting him, with the shatting of his, the shitting of his own pants. All right, we'll grab a knife. Of course, we'll take it. Didn't we? And then we'll come over here. For some tasty cheese. Head on down this way. We get ourselves into a little scuffle against the trifecta of ghosts. Since there's 3 of them, we're gonna take this rather seriously. A bit more seriously than I normally would do. It does not happy. You're gonna start seeing some tactics too, where enemies will block each other in order to prevent characters from reaching them. Not a deal breaker, but it is something that can happen. But that's one of the reasons why we want the higher piety, because it'll do very little damage to characters like Koudelka. And if we get keep Edwards up a little bit, it'll protect him too. Like I said, and the game was very good in its description of that stat. We want to make sure that our piety is up in order to protect characters from unnecessary amounts of damage. Koudelka's been silenced by their ability, so that sucks. Meaning she's gonna have to get up close and personal, even though I didn't really want her to do that, but not much of a way around that. Okay, so we have our choice of 2 different dudes. Koudelka could probably reach that one, so let's come over here. Because we can't cast magic right now. She can't really reach, so we'll wait. And stabbity stab. Movity move. Put him about there. And you can attack diagonally. And now she's not silenced anymore, as status effects can wear off. So you can see it hit Edward, but it didn't hit him very hard, and that's kind of what we want out of Edward. Nice. No, we'll see what we got from this. Give or take. I mean, I'm not going to keep full track, but we'll see. So 1, 2, 3. Again, we care about his dexterity, and his vitality will put up 1 point as well. Not really raising his strength yet. Whiskey is, I believe, like a phoenix down. Nothing like a little booze to get your ass in gear again. Come on. And Panacea. And let's take a look again, keeping an eye on our stats and our level ups. So that roughly was about, I guess, 60 XP as well. It seems something akin to that. So it would be quite a bit of effort to level them up again, which is a shame because I kind of want to, but it will be what it'll be. And you can see here, we need 1,000 to get to level 2. I think it only goes up to level 3, so keep that in mind as you progress through the game. I'm not using any of those, and I might at some point, but not right now. 160. I forget what it is for weapons. I think it's something similar. I think it's also 1,000. So again, these are things to kind of keep in mind as you're progressing through the game. You've got to keep an eye on your levels. And like I said, when you grind in this game, you're not really necessarily grinding, for levels, standard level ups. You're grinding your attacks and magic. However, again, you can't just easily grind weapon skills, so that's why the melee punching, the fists, are so important. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is that there, and this is where the payoff is. There's actually knuckle weapons. So we may find knuckle drops, and those will be very, very powerful weapons for Edward. So this game is promoting fisting of the powers and evils, beings of darkness. Because when I am playing, a game of evil, I plan on punching vampires and werewolves right in the fucking face. All right, so I don't want to go to the furnace. Something's not right. So when you get that message, it usually means there's a nasty little fight coming. I would normally level to 3, but I think we can take a little bit of a risk. The Dark Hammer. Let's go with... I guess we'll go... You know what? We'll go with the Doik, maybe? I don't know. I forget the weaknesses sometimes. Various enemies. That's a lot more raw damage. So let's go with the normal pipe. She's got the normal knife. Let us have Edward heal. Or actually, Edward should heal. Yeah, Edward should heal himself. That's good enough. As you try to move deeper into the herb garden, a giant plant attacks you. Oh no. So this is our first boss fight, which isn't necessarily hard, but sometimes can be hard depending. Actually, I should have put the gun. No, the gun's not a very good weapon in this game. In this battle. Let's attack with flare. Move his majesty in for a good clubbing. Against my better judgment. She's clearly poisoned. Alright. Didn't do a lot of damage, and that's okay. So we're gonna have her move in for the stabbity stab. But she's gonna get credit for that. And if we need to heal, we can. I'm not too worried about healing magic. Due to us getting those rags, this battle, Edward's magic defense is actually pretty good. So we've done roughly 300 damage by now. Yeah. That's so bad. And we just gotta keep the pressure on this guy. And if we need to heal, we'll have Edward... It's better if Edward heals out of battle than in battle. If we need to, we have potions to use. You can see he has a lot of health. There's some damage. That's pretty bountiful amount of damage for Edward to take. But he should be almost dead. Yep, there he goes. And the battle is won. And we get the icons, the necklace, and we learn the spell Geyser. So we get our first water elemental spell. Quite nice. Let's head back over this way. This dude that's just passed out on the floor.
My head. Oh, what happened? Oh, yes, that's right. That monster. Oh. Who on earth are you two? Hey, we rescued you, and that's your way of saying thanks?
Little did I know that these days were into rescuing perfect strangers.
You.
My name is Koudelka, and this is Edward. Would you mind telling us how you ended up collapsed down this path?
My name is James. James O'Flaherty. I've been searching for something, and it took me to the monastery. Little did I know that it'd become a breeding ground for demonic spirits.
Then how did you get in here dressed like that?
Through the main gate, of course. The caretakers welcomed me with open arms.
That husband and wife team? And the food? Was there no poison in your food?
What are you talking about? Are you out of your mind?
Those caretakers tried to poison and kill us.
That's not funny. I find it inappropriate for you to try to dupe an upstanding believer of the Christian faith.
So nothing happened to you then?
Of course not. Not until I encountered that monster.
Yeah? And we're the ones who took care of that monster. Far be it from me to expect any words of gratitude from you.
I see. And I can tell from your appearances that the power of your faith alone was not enough to smooth things out with that monster.
It wasn't the kind of problem that faith alone could solve.
Ugh. Look at this plinth. It's broken now, but holy water ran from it until recently. But I've become distracted. Almighty God, please give me the strength to ward off these monsters.
I can see that we've wasted our time here. Let's go, Koudelka.
Just a minute. Although I'm under the protection of the Lord, it doesn't hurt to take precautionary measures. I think I'll go with you.
Okay. And thus with the monsters gone, the font has once again filled with holy water. I think they made the fountain, and you can save here, and it's a good saving point too, as it recovers health and everything else. So we get our third character, James O'Flaherty. Would have been nice if he had a nice thick Irish accent, wouldn't it? And he's going to be our second caster, more geared towards healing and this fortification stuff. But we also do still need to teach him the offensive. He's going to be super focused on magic. Koudelka will be focused on mostly offensive magic and a dabble of healing. I have no interest in her wasting her time leveling up the fortifying spells. She will also dabble in some melee skills, because eventually characters sometimes just run out of MP. And you don't have a choice. So she's going to probably be training with, knives, with daggers, knives, and swords. For Edward, it wouldn't hurt to give him things like clubs, axes, spears, and swords as well. That will, and of course, we're going to spend a lot of time leveling up his fists. Once his fists I think they can max out. If they ever get to that juncture where they just max out, then yeah, and we're sitting on a freaking pile of weaponry, we'll start expanding that. But in boss fights specifically, he's going to be our number one prioritization of weapons. So if we just have a bunch of knives, he's going to get a knife. If it has an element to an enemy that its weakness is attached to. But that's strictly for boss battles. And whatnot, and the like. And yeah, we want to level his healing up a little bit, but we're not going to make that a big deal. And we'll also have him do 4 to 5 strength and dex. I don't see a reason for, strength, dex, mind, and intelligence. That's only if I'm bored and have nothing for this character to do. If anything, he's just really going to level up healing, the healing types of magic. Along with James and Koudelka, everybody's going to slightly work on that, but with a priority going to James, with Koudelka being secondary, but her offensive magic's going to be primary. So yeah, our main caster is going to be James. Now we're going to set him up accordingly. We don't ever really want him getting too close in combat, so he makes a great candidate for the pistol. I don't intend to have him use it very often, but he can if he needs to. That'll reload James's weapon. And may as well let James heal everyone since he's got healing. And this is a great way to level up healing magic. Let me make sure we're getting credit for it, because yeah, so we get about 30 a heal. So this is a great way to level up healing. And if we use this fountain, we will actually recover, I believe. So as you can see, I fiddled it around a little bit earlier just to make sure. But yeah, so I believe we actually have to make the save. No, so there you go. We are fully healed. So grinding in this game, like I said, is an act of, just something you kind of have to do. For better and for worse, it's, just something that you do in this particular game. And it's not really about your character levels as much as character levels are very important, but it's leveling up their magic and their weapon skills. So I'm going to do a little bit of that now. I guarantee you we're not going to level probably anything specific. We just want to get it up in levels before long. So I'm probably going to have Koudelka work on Flare, have James O'Flaherty work on Geyser, and he'll do the healing off screen until he's out of MP. And then we'll have Edward work on giving the good old-fashioned fistings. So we're going to remove the normal pipe from him for now. And that's pretty much the goal here is, again, I want to level up Edward's fists to hopefully level 2. That would be really nice. It'd be nice to get, Geyser to level 2, heal to level 2, or at least 80% of the way there. And same with Koudelka, getting her flare to level 2 and her heal closer to level 2, not necessarily at level 2. And then after we kind of get the magics, again, I'm not going to power level, guaranteed to level 2. We're just going to get it a little bit going here. Some light leveling, as one would say. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Dark Studios for more live gaming action. When we come back, we continue the bizarre story of Koudelka. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.